Hi, Sagittarius. Good morning. Yeah, can hear my allergies first thing in the morning. Sagittarius, let's get into it. So, you know, I try to keep it interesting, and this is the daily message. Welcome to Saged Muse. My name is Heidi. I read for Sagittarius here. That's what we're doing. But if you feel so inclined, it's really for anyone, but I do call the energy for Sagittarius. So, okay. And I do laugh a lot, so FYI. So, Sagittarius, we're looking at, these are the daily messages, but very much these are messages that you need to know today. It doesn't mean that everything is happening today. As a matter of fact, we are dealing with some rising energies that may or may not be related to the full moon, because the energies, especially the days leading up to the full moon, tend to build. And it's very interesting, but pretty expected too, that some things will come up, because that's what happens. That's what happens. And, usually there is shadow work involved with full moons, because we are called to release something. And definitely with it being in Capricorn, these could be money related issues, that kind of thing. But I actually feel like it may be a little deeper than that. I feel like you will be feeling the magic, because it's connected with the solstice. There is a lot of magic about this full moon, and really an opportunity here to manifest, yes, but I feel that like there's a lot of perfecting energy going on. So this is a new deck, and it's like Moonlight Messages, I think it's called. It's the Moonology. I love those decks, actually. So look, there is a full moon here. There is some energy around blockages. Now, if knowledge had been upright, it may be becoming aware to you that there is a blockage. I think on some level, maybe just subconsciously, you know it's there already. Yeah, that's not what I said. So the Page of Pentacles and the Strength card is there, which is very much an opportunity to overcome challenges, right? It definitely is. And I feel on some level, especially if this is something that you've put off, or and there seems to be like something in regards to social media. So I feel like for some, how you use social media is going to change. It could be also that via social media, it actually brings a blockage to your attention, because there is awakening here, which is interesting, because it feels like in terms of what will help you, there's a whole cycle, because, we are seeing the shadow work, the darkness, and then we're seeing the light. And I feel like what which is really interesting, is that how you use social media is going to change. Okay? Because shadow work is here, social media detox and awakening. I feel like I've been going through this myself. It can be almost like you get rid of everything and start all over again, because there definitely is going to be a shift in the way that you use social media. So I definitely feel that, like, I don't know, pay a lot of attention, I think, to what is showing up via that avenue for you this week, because it may really be important, because it may be showing you something. Now, this is detox, right? Now, don't y'all, like, it's still okay for you to come here. because I will tell you something, like, personally, I have not been on social media as much. I have noticed a shift in the way that I use it. I don't do this meaningless scroll, for one thing. And maybe that's what you're finding, that the way you use social media is more purposeful, right? Not, because it can become like this real drain on your time, because it's really designed to pull you in towards addiction, especially with like, that's what all of those like 7-second videos are about. It just makes us scroll more. And I just feel like you may be taking a break in some ways, because I feel like you're waking up to the way that you use it has to change. And I do feel like on some level this may have something to do with time or wasting time. I do feel as if the way you use social media is going to be more meaningful in this next cycle. It doesn't mean don't use it. I just feel like the way you use it might be changing. And if you use social media for your business, this may be very prevalent to you. Because when we are, like, for instance, I work online, so how I use social media is very, I don't know, it's just very meaningful. And also, because I know that, like, for me, because I work on social media, I have to do things differently. Like, I have to do things like limit my time, or create, like, this is how much time I'm going to spend on it personally, and this is something that you might be finding. And, this uncover every part of you that has been repressed or abandoned. You may be, like, really being more honest, and it may be coming through social media, to be honest. It's very interesting. I think it will be different for different people, but I do feel like there is this energy of you're not going to waste time, right? It just feels that way. So, it seems like the blockage does have to do with time. It just does. And also, like, how you do things. And I feel at some level like, maybe you're even taking down some accounts. Maybe there's just definitely a shift in the way you use social media. So maybe you're not going to have, like, so many accounts, or, it's kind of a theme I've noticed on YouTube, is that a lot of creators, for instance, are not using certain platforms anymore. Because, there was a time when we were everywhere, right? We have an account everywhere. But that can really cause a drain on your time and not allow for you to focus on what's important, what really helps, yeah. So I don't know what that means for you, Sag. But denial's on the bottom. It's like denial to accept a situation, unhealthy cycles, or addictions. So if you feel like you have a social media addiction, for instance, You might be taking down some of your accounts. You might be restricting some of your time. Um, there's something about it that you're doing different. Okay, because like I feel like largely with this full moon, there is a lot that you're going to do differently. And some of it is really going to feel like it wasn't your choice. And so if you have put off like how you do things specifically, uh and especially if this is like things you know that you should do, but because knowledge is reversed, when it's upright, it's that we don't have the knowledge, right? That it might suddenly come to us. I feel like this is something you already know. And, you know, it's coming up because the universe is making it so. Okay. So the universe is forcing a change, honestly. They're forcing a change. And I feel like part of that, they might be forcing the change in terms of the way you speak or the way you work. Maybe it can also be with the Knight of Swords does deal with time, like, and wanting to have things fast, right? And maybe, taking even like a little bit of a cleanse when it comes to social media might really help you look at that. And it could come from something that someone says, because the Knight of Swords also talks about social media. But there's definitely something changing. So maybe, maybe like you're locked out of a certain account. Like maybe you're locked out of Facebook, or you're locked out of whatever it is that where you go. And, it's because they're bringing change, and it's change in the way that you move. I mean, because what's going to happen is it's going to allow for you to be more meaningful in your life, to have more discipline. So I do feel like it's like whatever is in the way of that is going to disappear. And I do feel like social media might be a part of it. Because maybe you're not spending as much time. Maybe you're not keeping certain accounts anymore. Because they just kind of cause too much distraction for you. And maybe that's what you're figuring out. Because the Magician is here with the Knight of Pentacles, right? The Knight of Pentacles often represents doing things that are good for us over the long haul. And I feel like this may be something that you're looking at, but the truth is if you've avoided doing it, even though you know it's good for you, the universe is going to come in and make it happen. How is a good question. It really is. It could start with something that someone says to you, or something that you see. It's definitely highlighting on something that is said. Really makes you think about something you're doing, and maybe you get into a fight with someone online and you just say to yourself, oh, you know what, this isn't worth it. This isn't worth it. It's funny that is kind of part of your shadow work. It really is. And it's not a bad thing. I feel like you might be really taking a look at that, because truthfully, social media is a great thing, but how we use it, because it can really affect your energy. Because I know the minute that I see someone negative, or, just for no reason, just being petty, whatever it is, I will unfollow them, whatever, because I decided that I wanted my feeds to look a certain way. I wanted them to feed me. And so, yeah, I'm just saying that the way that you spend time on social media might be changing. And so embrace that, right? And this may be coming up during the full moon, you know? And it does really feel like there's something you see or something that is said that dramatically changes some way you're moving. And I do feel as if social media is involved in some way. So what is inspiring you, Sagittarius? Yes, there is a million oracles to be had. So let's see. Imrana is here. Where are you being called to journey to? What lights you up? Now, what was first was boundaries. And I feel like this is just speaking about this more, because I feel like you are setting boundaries for yourself and focusing more on what brings you light. And not just for you, though. Like, it's also for other people. Because you may be noticing a lack of light, right? The age of light is reversed. And I feel like you don't even realize that you're supposed to lead people into light. I got into this deep conversation last night with Marty Cannon about this. Because I do feel like with the Pluto moving into Aquarius, I know a lot of people think a lot of different things about it, but Sagittarius will be important in that because we very much adapt to change, and we already see so many structures falling, and Sagittarius is just going to be important in terms of guiding people into dealing with it, because I don't know if you noticed it online. I mean, it's all over the place. People just like it's making them crazy, okay? But it's not making us crazy. So we may really have an active part in terms of leading people to light, like especially where there is none. So you may really be called to the spaces where you don't see light being reflected and bringing that light to it. Because that's what you're focused on. That's what you want. So it's kind of like making your whole world reflect the light that you want to move to, that you want to lead other people to. So maybe that means that you're changing your social media. For instance, that can look like, I want to see positive things. So I'm going to kind of do a clearing so that that's what I see. That it is definitely you creating some boundaries when it comes to light. Like I'm not going to even acknowledge petty people. And this could come out of acknowledging someone petty. Where you say, you know what, I don't even have to deal with this. I don't even have to, and that's often what I think when it comes to social media. You have the choice. It's like using it for information that will help you, and staying connected with people who are important to you, making connections with important people. This is what we're supposed to use the internet for, and so, but we get sucked into the BS, and I'm sure y'all know what I'm saying. I spent a lot of time on this, I'm sorry. But I do feel like it's going to be something that you may be addressing. Okay, because the energy we subject ourselves to can really affect us. Just remember that, right? And as always, Sagittarius is the bringer of light. We are optimists. It doesn't mean we're positive all the time. It just means we see light. Amen, amen. So, it's very interesting because I do see a little bit of coming together with someone here. For some, this definitely has a new love feel to it. unity blooms, foster harmony and connection within your community. Now, yesterday, I really saw the energy of showing up and really showing up for other people. Like, you're not isolating yourself, you're really spending the time connecting with people. And this may lead to a romantic connection, honestly, because it does feel as if there is a very strong bond being starting, honestly, because we see the Two of Cups, the Fool, the Chariot, and the Six of Wands. Wow. So you are really catching someone's attention. And I think that this is someone, I don't think that this is someone you've been in a relationship with. I do think this is someone who is very, at first I thought it was you that was taking the chance, Sag, but I think it's the other person. I think they're the ones who are taking the chance on connecting with you because they see something in you. It's like it feels like they see like a kindred spirit in you. Okay? And they want to connect with you. And so it may be a little daunting to this person because of the way their personality works, especially like, and all the time I see it and everyone sees it, that Sagittarius gets attention. We always do. We draw it in. We don't really necessarily do anything. We're not like, hey, look at me, but we seem to get attention naturally. And that might be a little off-putting to this person. Because, there's someone who moves in a lot of self-control. Okay? Ascetic, seeker of self-restraint, abstinence, purification, discipline. This is a person who has a lot of passions, but very much controls them. Like, this is a very controlled individual. Let me just say that. So I actually think it's this person that is taking a chance. Yeah, definitely coming towards you. And you may find that this person approaches you or talks to you or whatever. It may have that edge of aggressiveness for you, right? This is definitely a leader. I'm getting like strong Emperor energy off this person, even though they didn't show up that way. Because look, once again, with discipline, because this person literally knows what can happen if you don't have discipline and self-control. Like, wow. But it's really interesting to me, too, how their passion flows. Because their passion is like, it could feel like the passion of a dancer. Like, it flows very easily, very smoothly, very natural. But I like this person. This person has so much discipline. And I really feel like in their life, they have to. I do feel like maybe they run something. Maybe they're like the boss of something. But this person has a lot of discipline because they do carry a lot of responsibility. But they're so fully aware of their own passion. It's very mature. It's very beautiful. I'm getting a chill off it. Okay, so that may be happening. Remember, I do an extended for every reading. So in the extended, I will look more at that person. Your focus is, I feel like this blockage thing coming up may really open a door for you because you are determined to get where you want to go. And, this is bringing in this like perfecting energy. Like, I want to get rid of everything that isn't working for me, because there is, some energy talking about like blockages for sure, and also patterns. You know, with the Two of Wands and the Hangman here, you very much are having a different perspective. Okay, you may be clearing out some people. People, like, especially if you found yourself trying to work with people, trying to get people on board with whatever it is that you want to do, you may be finding that that's part of the problem, right? And I feel like, I don't really like the Two of Wands. With the Two of Wands, we have a choice this way or that way, right? But also getting out of our comfort zone. So I just very much feel like the way that you work, or the way that you approach your path, there's something about it that you're doing differently. You're also inviting different ways of doing things. And it may be that there are people in your energy or in your work or whatever it is that aren't on board with that. They're not open to the change. They're not open to trying new things. And I feel like that may be something that you're clearing, Sagittarius. Something that you're clearing. And it's a good thing. I mean, underneath the deck is the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands, the Sun, and the Nine of Pentacles. There's you being really confident, right? Here's the Queen of Swords with Justice. Really knowing what you need to cut out. And you're very confident about it. And this is for you and for what you want and for what you have. I mean, so you may be finding that you just have these these moments where all of a sudden you know what you have to do, and it's because of something that the universe does. So pay close attention to that. Okay? I know this was like the rantiest reading there ever was, Sagittarius. So in the mystery cards is interesting. Because we see the Child card, sudden wealth, occupation, and thief. It's just like more of the same. Like the way that you are changing and managing your time, and this is really something new you're doing, is going to bring cash dollars to you. It's going to be very good for your wealth. Okay. Sagittarius, I know you're like, oh, this in one day, what the heck? So let's see your mantra today. What's the mantra? Okay. I release my need to be right. I am defenseless and at peace. Okay. But we are right a huge amount of times. Okay, Sagittarius. Oh, wait, I forgot. These are people affecting your day. Yeah, it's just like a lot of times I'll use a million cards and they kind of, the same message keeps repeating. Employee is here. And then we see barber and team, connection, cooperation. There is, I just feel like you may be talking about this with someone else. You may be connecting with a new community. You're beautifying things. You're perfecting things. Very interesting, Sagittarius. So that's what I have for you. I hope it really helps, and I hope you have the best day ever. Toodles.